Not many countries have a permanent triathlon venue, but China does here in Chengdu, a site designed specifically for triathlon. And Emma Jeffcoat, after a World Cup victory in Mooloolaba earlier this year, hoping to get a second. Tamara Gorman, the young American athlete, here after her great 2017 season, winning the under-23 world title. The two-day format, you qualify for the second day, and now the 30 best athletes out of day one coming together for a very fast 400-meter swim, 10-kilometer bike ride, and 2.5-kilometer run. And it would take not a lot of time until Emma Jeffcoat, renowned for her swimming abilities, open water, would take the pace. The Inner Harbor still very, very mild, and it would be Tamara Gorman on her feet and the young junior bronze medalist Fukasega onto the feet of the American, as the trio would come out of the water with a small gap at about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. You can see the string of athletes behind them, no wetsuit swim, and very quickly the US and Australian athletes would try to get away, but it would turn into a group of four very early on the bike course, transitions being absolutely oh so critical through the early stages. In fact, you can see Bogan from Germany just at the back of that group trying to get into her cycling shoes, in fact still in her bare feet. Tamara Gorman would push the pace very early on, as the chase group of athletes never were really able to get organized, and the group of four up front would get a larger and larger gap. Emma Jeffcoat, sensing that her early swim and bike capacity might be the difference in the race to keep away some of the strong runners, would push the pace very hard through the entire 10-kilometer bike ride. Although the combination all worked together, it would be Emma Jeffcoat from Australia, the 24-year-old who did the vast majority of the bike work, and as they went into the bell lap, starting to gain confidence that this group of four very likely would be fighting it out for the medals at the end of the day. Perfect conditions throughout the 2 days of racing, and as they came off the end of the 10-kilometer bikes, no penalties, the group of four would realize that the podium would really come down to this group. Emma Jeffcoat, after winning in Mooloolaba earlier in 2018, would probably have the best race resume, but it would be Sega and Bogan first out onto the start of the 2.5-kilometer run. And as the camera would pan back, you would see how big a gap had occurred over the 10 kilometers of riding. Bogan would start to fall off the pace pretty quickly, but it would be Emma Jeffcoat and Tamara Gorman who would really exert themselves through the first kilometer, pushing at just over 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Sega would try to hold on, but the 20-year-old world junior bronze medalist I don't think would have enough capacity to go with this duel. It would be Gorman trying desperately to hang on. Bogan would fall off, realizing she probably would not make the podium. But Emma Jeffcoat would continue to push the pace, gaining confidence after a win in Davenport earlier in 2018, and then of course the big victory in Mooloolaba, Australia. Coming off the Australian summer and a year of great confidence, Emma Jeffcoat would just start to run away. Tamara Gorman would be elated, however, to have herself another podium in an international race. And as the crowd who had come out every year to support this event waited at the finishing line, Australia Emma Jeffcoat would be the victor for the 2018 World Cup race in Chengdu, her second World Cup win of 2018. 22-year-old Tamara Gorman would celebrate at the finishing line her silver medal performance, and Fukasega from Japan would keep the Japanese women successful in the World Cup Series, as the Japanese women have been great over the last few years. Sega would cross the line at just 20 years of age, and Bogan from Germany just missed the podium, but it would be the experienced Jeffcoat who would claim victory in Chengdu.
I guess it was always my strategy to try and use my strong swim bike to get away, but I knew that it might not work out that way, so I was always ready to be adaptable no matter what happened. But I guess the ideal situation played out. But that being said, we worked, I took the swim out really hard, and I was able to get a bit of a split and with a quick transition, and I really, the four of us worked really hard from the start. I think we're all on the same page, and we got away.
Yeah, so I just got right on Emma's feet in the swim, and I knew it was going to be hard right out of transition in order to kind of get a gap, and so we just worked ended up getting a gap, and then went into the run and ran as fast as we could.
もう自分でもプッシュプッシュって感じで、もう押すことだけを意識して前を向くことだけでした。私は短い距離の方が好きなので、いいレースだったと思います。